page itself or in a new tab. Okay. I will open it in new tab because by default, if you don't pass the target attribute, it will open the page in the same page itself. But on Replit, it doesn't work. Okay, because it's an online compiler, so it gives an error if you try to open it in the same page. Now, if you want to open it in a new tab, in target attribute, you will give a value underscore blank. Now let's run it. Now see, I'm able to click on this link, and if I click, okay, it's navigating me to Amazon, and this page was opened in a new tab. If you don't specify this target equal to blank, the default value is underscore self, so it will try to open it in the same page. See, okay. But on Replit, it doesn't work due to some security issue. Any question in this hyperlink? Yes, guys. Href means full form. Okay. Uh, Full form is, I guess, hypertext reference. Yeah, full form is hypertext reference. Okay, so guys, if you don't have any question, please create a link on your page. And once done, let me know. It's hypertext reference, Sumedha. Yes, Govind, it works. Target is optional. Okay, just the thing is, if you don't specify code, it will work. Okay, so shall I move on to next point? Yes, right. Href is mandatory. Okay. So for target, you can put underscore blank. You can put underscore self, and I guess underscore parent is also there. The thing is, it will open for the other values. It will open the page in the same page itself. Udit, it's okay. Let me just type it over here. Here is my link. Full form is hypertext reference. Okay, full form of href. And A is anchor tag. Okay. Okay. Shall I move on to next point, guys? Yes, Govind, you can use image as a link. Now lists are normal thing like how we normally create lists. Let's say list of subject, lists of grocery items. Okay. In HTML, we have three different types of list. First is ordered list. Um, we also have unordered list, and then we have description list. So let's talk about ordered list. I'm just giving a heading. Ordered list is created using OL tag. Okay, it stands for ordered list. Now inside OL, you can add different list items. Okay, now to add these list items, you have to use li tags. Okay, let's say I'm creating a list of subjects, so I will write mathematics. Okay, then next English. E. And if you run it, this is how ordered list will be displayed by default. Okay, you can see why we call it as ordered list, because you will properly see all the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Now you can do many things with this list. Okay, one thing that you can do is you can, instead of numbers, if you want for example alphabets to be displayed or Roman numbers, you can do that. So in order to do it, we have an attribute called type, and here you have to mention, let's say I want a smaller alphabet, so I will mention small a. Okay, so it will display the small alphabets A B C D. If you mention capital, it will also display capital letters, and Roman numbers are also possible. Any question? Yes, guys. Is there any question in this list, ordered list? Okay. Guys, I will explain you all three lists and then you can try it. Okay, Shiva, if you do it, then it will be displayed only as a one list item actually. Okay. Like if you try to do this thing, let's say English, French. Okay. So this is what will happen. Okay. Moving on, the next type of the list we have is unordered list. I'll just copy everything. Okay. Unordered. Now for unordered list, we have UL tag. Okay. We don't have type attribute. We'll close UL. Okay. And normally you can add your list items with the help of li tags. Okay. An unordered list will be displayed like this. Okay. This is the default shape you will get, disk. Okay. Now again, this shape also you can change if you want, let's say square, circle. You can mention that. Now the process is quite different. You will have to use a style attribute, and here you have to write what was the property, list style type, and let's say I want square. Okay, so this will change the shape. You can also try with circle. So this is a circle, okay? And the one which we were getting at first, that is a disk. You can also mention none over here. Okay, and it won't display anything. Clear? Govind, I want numbers. Then Govind, by default it will display numbers only. Your ordered list. If you don't give that type attribute. Okay, any question in unordered list? Hmm. Okay. And the last type of list that we have is a description list. Okay. Now description list is quite different than these ordered and unordered. Description. So in order to create the description list, we first of all use DL tag. Now one element in your list will come in a pair. Okay. So first we have DT. Okay. You can say it as data term. Okay. So let's say data data term is mathematics. And next you will have DD. Okay. Data description. Okay. So description about this term. So let's say I'm just saying this is okay, like this you can add as many data terms and descriptions you want, and this is how a description list is displayed. Okay, so this is your data term and this is the description of that data. Is it clear? So guys, if it's clear, I want you to try all these types of list: ordered, unordered, and description list. If there is any question, put it in the chat box. Yes, yes. Yeah. It's like a heading of. Oh, the definition of this. What does it mean by definition, Udit? The simple thing is like you use description list when you want to like write something which will come in, let's say, term and the description about the term, relevant description of that term. That's only the definition of this list. Okay. Okay, guys. If it's done, shall I move on to next point? Okay. You can use. I mean, in description list, if you want to create your unordered list, you can do that. Okay. So I am moving on to what works, Govin. Okay, I'm moving on to next point, and now we will talk about forms. Okay, how to create forms in HTML. Now, when you want to create a form, first tag we have is form tag. Now, inside this, see usually how we have forms. For example, we will have like this is not working. Huh. Okay, name, and then we will have the text field. Okay, so this name over here is a label, and this is nothing but the input field. Okay, so let's learn how to create a label. Now to create a label, we use label tag, and I want name of the user, so I will say name. Okay, next, to create that particular text field or the input field, we have input tag. Again, input is a self closing tag. It means it does not have closing tag. And input takes one attribute called type. And here you can mention what type of data you want in that input field. Okay, now name is a simple text data. So I will mention type equal to text. And once you do it, you can see, okay, I have a label along with the text field where I can enter some data inside it. Now next, I want a line break, so I'm taking br tag. Let's say next we want to take email from the user. So I created label, and we also need input field. Now for email, email is very special kind of text, okay, because it follows a particular pattern. So for that we have a special type, and that type will be email. Okay. I'll take one more BR. Now what will happen? This particular email field will only accept the data which is a proper email. Okay. If you don't provide it, you will get an warning. Okay. And it will say, please include an @ in the email address. And that's the use of this type attribute. Now next, let's create a password field. I will say password. Again, password is a special data and it's a sensitive data. So for that we have a special type called password. And if you try to enter something in this password field, you can see it is hiding. It's hidden. Okay. It's because you are using type equal to password. Along with this, one more attribute you can provide in this input field, and that is an placeholder. Let's see, I'm saying enter name. So this is okay. This is a placeholder. Okay. If you enter something, it will be vanish. If you remove it, okay, it will display the placeholder. Any questions so far, guys? Yes, anyone? Is there any question? Yes, no, something. No, okay. This should be email. Okay. I'll just add placeholders over here as well. Okay. Now, like this, guys, you have lot more types of this input field. Okay. For example, we have telephone, we have number, we also have button. Okay. Radio. So let's see few of them. Now next, let's say you want gender of the person. Now, okay, gender is something that, okay, one user will have only one gender. Okay. So any such thing where you want only one option to be selected. So for these things, we use a radio button. Okay. So how to create a radio button? Again, you will use input and type will be radio. When you want single selection at a time. And after this, I want to display this is male. Okay. Let's create two more radio buttons, female and one for others. And this is how the radio buttons will be displayed. Okay. Now there is one problem though. If I select it, I'm able to select all the options. Okay. And it should not work like this. Now to allow a single selection at a time, we need to provide one more attribute to this input field, and that attribute is name. Okay. Let's say I'm saying name is gender. Now provide the same name to all other radio buttons. And this time if you execute it, you can see I can select only one option at a time. Is this clear? Shiva, we don't have closing tag for input. I told you at the beginning itself, input does not have any closing tag. It's a self closing tag. Okay, guys, is there any question so far? If no, I want you to create a form which has all these fields. Once you are done, let me know. Then I will explain you the next part. Okay, then please continue with this. Create all these fields on your page. And once you are done, place D in the chat box so that we can move to next point. Uh, I did not get your question. Should we give gender or it can be different? Are you asking about the label? The name attribute, okay. Uh, Again, instead of gender, you can use any other name that you want, but make sure the name should be same for all three radio buttons. Understood? Okay, guys, shall I move on to next point? Maggie, is that your real name? Okay, I'm moving on to next point. Now let's see checkboxes. Okay. Now the things where you want multiple selection. Okay, you want to allow multiple selections. So usually we use checkboxes. Okay, so let's say city preference. So in such cases, we usually use checkboxes. Now to create the checkboxes, we use type equal to checkbox. Okay, let's write few city names. Mumbai. And this is how checkboxes will look like. You will be able to select and deselect those, and it will allow multiple selections. And okay, now guys, there are actually a lot more types of this input field. You can explore them. uh, let's say you want to take address of the person. Now address is something which cannot be uh, like, this input field is too small to include the address. So for that we have a tag, okay, a element. So let me just create a label first. That element is nothing but the text area. So the use of text area is basically, see, you will be able to increase and decrease the size of this. Okay, so usually we use this text area field to for the address. Finally, you can also create a button for the form. Now again, button can be created using two ways. We have button tag, and you can also create a button using input tag. Okay, input type equal to button. And you can also use this button tag. Let's say I want to say register. What happened? Okay, this is how button will be created. And as I told you, you can also use input tag to create the button. Type equal to button, and value attribute. In value attribute, you can mention what thing you want to display on this button. So let's say I'm saying sign up. Clear, guys? Is there any question? Okay, your name is Meghana. Then do you like Maggie? Guys, is there any question in checkbox or text area or button? Okay. Okay. And now one more thing to, like, to display this form more attractively. You can add a border around this form, and you can also give some caption to it. Okay. Now to give that border, we have one thing called field set. So let me just use it over here itself. Field set tag. Okay. Field set tag. The use of field set tag is basically to group the similar elements. Okay. And what it will do is basically it will give you a border. You can see I'm getting a box now around my form. Okay. Let me just keep it inside form itself. That will be good. Okay. And now if you want to give any caption to it, you can do it using legend tag. Okay. Legend is used to give caption. Let's say I'm saying registration form. And this is how caption will be displayed. Let me take BR tag over here. Any question in field set and that legend? Yeah, I will try to provide the recording of this session. Else I will also share that PPT. Indentation. No, we don't have indentation in HTML. We give spacing, like we keep, like let's say, proper spacing just to make our code, look good and more readable. But indentation is not necessary in HTML. Okay, then guys, is there any question? Have you tried this fill set and legend? Shiva form tag is simply we use to create form. So inside, actually there is a lot more uses. We have not seen like few of the attributes of the form tag. For now, consider that it is used for creating form in HTML. It will also handle like what should happen after submitting the form. Guys, if there is any question, put it in the chat box. Uh, that was it for today's session. So I'm waiting. If you have any question, put in the chat box. Question related to the class, okay? Otherwise, you can give me your feedback about how was